Good morning. Good morning. I'm Sally Myers, and I'm the founder of the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce Student of the Month program. And isn't it a great day in Temecula? It is, yes, we love Temecula. I'd like to welcome all of you to our program, and for those of you that are almost finished with your breakfast or finished with your breakfast, you're welcome to turn your chair around so we don't get any crinks in our neck, but we are so excited to have you here this morning. I'd like to ask you all to please stand, and our dear friend Monty Sharp with Student Venture is going to lead us in prayer, and our Superintendent Tim Ritter is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance of our great country. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody? Good. You look good, so that helps. Would you join with me as we ask the Lord's blessing? Father, thank you that you are the author of life and love, of light and laughter. And Lord, we're here this morning to celebrate a lot of young people that represent those things. Lord, they have taken the time to linger, to do the right thing, to notice others, to invest, to work hard. And Lord, they're being incredibly fruitful. So we pray that they would leave here today encouraged and focused and energized, Lord, to keep doing the good work that they've done. And may you bless their parents and the teachers and all the great schools that we've got that have invested in them. And Lord, we just ask today that you would be in the midst of all that we say and do, that we would leave here feeling blessed, feeling encouraged, as we always do. And Lord, that these young people especially would keep doing what they're doing. Father, we ask this in Jesus' name, and all God's people said, Amen.
Thank you,
Good morning.
Good morning.
Will you please join me in recognizing this amazing country we live in and the freedoms that we have by reciting our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are celebrating 26 years of honoring outstanding high school, college-bound seniors. And the program began because the Temecula Valley was just on fire and wanting to really honor these great students. And when I founded the program, we were actually involved. My husband and I own and operate Sizzlow restaurants, and we were involved in a program that started in the late 80s in Moreno Valley. And they were honoring the students there. There were just a few high schools there, and I loved the program so much. I came back to Temecula and went to the chamber and went to Terry Gilmore at Paradise Chevrolet and Cadillac. And we decided that, and Temecula Valley High School, because Temecula Valley was just opening at that time, and Linfield, and we all went to a Moreno Valley program, and we loved it. And I said, you know, I will be happy to do this, and that was 26 years ago. And so because of what happened in Temecula, we now have a program in Murrieta, a program in Lake Elsinore, and a program in Paris, Menifee. And we're a nonprofit organization. And then because of that, other communities decided that they wanted to have one. So there's one in Fallbrook, there's now one in Vista, and Vista started because of a Linfield student that was honored whose dad is on the board of directors of the chamber in Vista. So now they have one. I was told this morning that Escondido had their first one yesterday. Hemet now has one because of a sponsor of ours wanted to do one in Hemet. She also started the one in Banning Beaumont, and is going to be growing the program in Moreno Valley. So we are really blessed by our communities wanting to come together in this type of a setting and honor great students. So I'm excited about that. And I want to share with the families that we have a mission statement. It's the same statement we had 26 years ago, and it's how your son or daughter was honored and selected. And I'd like to share that with you. So we're a nonprofit organization honoring outstanding high school, college-bound seniors for their character, their love of learning, how they juggle numerous activities, whether it be campus activities, community service, athletics, or someone that may have persevered through a challenging life circumstance and they never sacrifice their education, and it's done in a setting that honors God, our country, community, family, and as a business owner, and as you business folks in town know, free enterprise. And so that's what we do all under one roof at Student of the Month. So it's exciting, I'm sure, parents, to know that your son or daughter is honored for those special character traits. And it's not for a huge GPA or high GPA, which we know y'all have, or this long laundry list of community service, but it's who you are as a person, how you have set yourself apart from other students, and how you have made a difference on your campus or in your community in such a way that out of all the students on your campus, you were selected to be here today. So that is really outstanding. It's a very small group of people. When you think about, even over 26 years, maybe we've honored, I think, close to 8,000 students, you might say, oh my gosh, that's a lot of people. It really is, but when you think about the number of students that are in each one of your schools, and you're that one, you're awesome. So congratulations to you. I would like to introduce the students now, and when I call out the school names, if you would please stand. So with Temecula Valley High School, representing our principal, who is Alan Williams, but representing Alan today is Donna Lione. So Donna, if you want to please stand. And your student is Tristian Barlow, and your family and mentor teacher and dear friend, please stand. Congratulations. From Chaparral High School, our principal, Nicole Dayus, and our student is Berlin Paez. Berlin, if your family and mentor teacher, if y'all want to please stand, congratulations to you. I love the smiles of these proud parents. From Rancho Christian High School, our principal, Craig Swanson, and our student is Isabela Blanco, and your family and mentor teacher, please stand. And I have to say, my son, all my children started out at Sunshine Preschool back in the early 80s, so y'all have been around for a while. And Temecula Preparatory School, and Tim Bagby, and thank you very much. And our student is Saul Escueda, and your family and mentor teacher, please stand. Great Oak High School, our principal, Amy Ricken, and our student is Timothy James Bonduc, and your family and mentor teacher. Congratulations. And with Linfield Christian High School, our principal, Holly Wilson, and our student is Isabel Crisostomo, and your family and mentor teacher, please stand. These are our students, and we're going to hear from them in just a little bit. I'm now happy to introduce from the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce, one of our board of directors, and it is Esther in Phahla, if I'm saying that correct, I hope. And she's going to share a few words on behalf of the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce, our awesome partner in the Student of the Month program. Thank you, Esther.
Thank you, Sally, and good morning, everyone. Congratulations to all of our students of the month. Each one of you will be receiving this certificate in, I believe you have some goodie bags out there. And this certificate is in recognition of your continuous commitment to academic and personal excellence, and therefore the Temecula Chamber of Commerce proudly salutes you. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I had the opportunity to meet Esther for the first time yesterday at the Temecula Rotary Club, so that was very fun. And so we are so excited to have you all here today. And I would like to honor our volunteers, because without our volunteers, it would be difficult to have this program, and they are just incredible. And I would like to introduce our chair, which is Brooke Nunn of the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce. And Miss Brooke, you need to stand, yes. And Alice Sullivan. And Alice Sullivan is our president and CEO of the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce. And both these ladies are simply incredible. And we just appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And Jerry Selway with Pacific Western Bank. I call her our gift queen, because she puts together all the gift bags, and she also coordinates our scholarship administration for us. So once the students have been selected and for our Student of the Year, then she helps put together the scholarship funds that go out to the schools. So that's a very important position. Thank you, Jerry. And Laura Boss with Temecula Valley Unified School District in the front here. And she is taking copious notes on her iPad, because she's going to make sure that all the great things that we hear about you will be shared in our media with media releases. So thank you very much, Ms. Laura. And Marcia McDonald, she's all dressed in peach this morning. And Marcia has been with Temecula Valley High School in the district for a long time. And when she decided to retire, I meant, good long time. But yeah. And so when she decided to retire, they loved her so much that she went back. So she's back there, and she is incredible. Volunteer for us. And Temecula Valley High School in the district, they love her. So thank you very much, Ms. March. And Dan Stake, he is with Alta Pacific Bank, and he comes and he is our mighty greeter. And so thank you for all that you do for our families when they arrive. Thank you. So we appreciate them very, very much. I would like to introduce our breakfast sponsors, and if you open your program, which is prepared by Brooke at the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce, you can see all of our sponsors. We have a tremendous group of sponsors in our sponsor family, and we have several that are here today, and I'd like to introduce them to you. We have Azusa Pacific University and Nayeli, and she is with I said APU, and it's your first time. Where are you? Right over here now. I'm looking for you. So it's her first time. So congratulations. We're happy to have you here. Thank you. And we have with us this morning a special guest, Scott Borden. And Scott is in the back. Scott, if you want to stand. He is with the new Les Schwab Tire Center on South Temecula off of Butterfield and Temecula Parkway. Am I right? I was there yesterday. It's a pretty spiffy place, I have to tell you. So it was very, very nice. So thank you for coming and looking at our program today. We appreciate it very much. Thank you. And we have Donna San Miguel with Cal State San Marcos University. So Donna, thank you very much. And Al Rubio with DCH Auto Group in Temecula. Yay, Al! And I did get my Jeep there, and has been on the Rubicon Trail. Yes.
Is it being broken? We can fix it.
Oh, I broke down this summer. Yep. I better not replace it yet, just yet. Thank you. Hi, I know where you're at. And one of our newest sponsors, I'm so excited that we have her with us. It's Malia Ortloff, and she is with Eastern Municipal Water District. And she has been a real blessing to our program, because not only has she joined our Temecula program, but she joined our Marietta program and our Paez program. So we are so excited. And because of her, we now have Rancho, California Water District joining our program. So you have just been a true blessing to us. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I saw Catherine Pepe walk in with Loma Linda University Medical Center. So thank you, Catherine, for all you do for our program. Thank you. And Jim Rose with the Medline Foundation. So thank you, Jim. We appreciate all that you've done for our program for many, many years. Since my daughters were at Linfield in the tennis program, 98 or so, you all have been sponsoring our program, so thank you so much. And we have Mount San Jacinto College. I'm not sure if they're in the room, but we know a lot of the students take extra courses at MSJC, and they are a fabulous sponsor of ours. We have Dr. David Horner with Motion Sports MD, also works alongside Jerry Ezon, so thank you, Dr. Horner. And Jerry Selway with Pacific Western Bank. So Jerry, thank you again for those extra hats you wear in our program. And Rancho California Water District. I haven't met Miss Megan, but I'm not sure. Is Megan or Grace here in the room? Not today. Okay, well, I know they'll be here next time. So we really appreciate them. Riverside County Office of Education, our Superintendent, Dr. Judy White. She's just a real blessing to the community. And our Rotary Club. Do we have Rotarians in the room? I know we have several, so raise your hands really high, our Rotarians. Look at that. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you. And we have Western Municipal Water District, and I don't see Rachel here, but we have all the water agencies now. This is a big deal, so very, very good. And we have Work Logic with Lori Marufo. So we appreciate all of our breakfast sponsors. Let's give them one last round of applause. And media is a big part of our program. We want to tell your story to everybody. So we have lots of folks that help us with that. And we have CR&R Environmental Services. And we also have Group 1 Production with Stephen Ashby behind the camera there. And he drives all the way over there, Tega Highway, to come to us. So we're excited about that. And they will edit it for Time Warner Cable Television. And then what's really exciting this year is through Group 1 Production and the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce, there's going to be a special link that y'all can go to, and you can download the video so you can send it to anybody. And I think we've got that listed on the back here. And so it is going to be a really fun thing. So we're excited that you can share this with other family members and friends. And also the city of Temecula is one of our media sponsors. And of course we have Miss Laura Boss over here taking our copious notes. So appreciate you very much. We also have a scholarship program, and parents, this is a big deal because as of today we have, I think, right at around $1,200, and we are going to do a competitive scholarship application. It will go to all of our students of the month in spring. So our students from September through April, you all will be competing against students from your own school. And one student from each school will be selected as a student of the year to have that great honor, but also to receive a very generous scholarship from all of our scholarship donors. And then you will come back to a final breakfast here at Sizzler, and where you will be showered with extra gifts and that scholarship. The application is competitive. There are a couple of short essay questions and some other things that you are doing this year. So be sure to keep track of everything that you're doing this year. Don't let anything pass. And remember, the judges, they can only judge on what you tell them. So maybe you're in the newspaper all the time. You better make sure that those articles are in your application, okay? So that is great. And Brooke Nunn and the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce administrate that scholarship application and the judging, so it's quite impressive. Good morning, how are you doing, Andrea? And so I'd like to introduce those sponsors to you now. We have Ray Evans with Abbott Vascular, so thank you, Mr. Ray. We appreciate you very much. Dan Stake with Alta Pacific Bank. So thank you, Dan, for all the extra goodies you do for our program. We have Eastern Municipal Water District. So Malia, thank you for coming in as a scholarship sponsor as well. And Millgard Windows and Doors with Jean Procio. So thank you, Miss Jean. Appreciate you very much. And the Medline Foundation with Jim Rose. So thank you, Jim. And we also have Pacific Western Bank. Jerry, thank you for your support there. And PKC Kubler, a CPA firm with Lori Ball. And new to our group this morning is Erica Sepulveda. So thank you, ladies, very much. It's good to have you here. And we also have a Rancho Family Medical Group Rancho, California Water District. And so all of our sponsors, as I said, are listed in the program, so that is exciting. We have, for Student of the Year, we have some extra special gifts, and some of those folks are with us this morning. We have our friends from Chick-fil-A. We have Tara Gravino and Tracy Wright. And not only do they give gifts for the months, but a special gift for the year. So thank you, ladies. So eat chicken. We like that. And Andrea Canichola with Costco. Miss Andrea, so everybody sees you. And they have been doing these huge, huge beach towels every single year for our students. And they do it for our programs in Temecula, Murrieta, Lake Elsinore, and Paris Menifee. That's a lot of beach towels that you guys provide to our students. We appreciate that. Loma Linda University with Catherine Pepe provides the official medals because you are like gold medal winners when you come at Student of the Year. And a lot of other fun gifts for you as well. So thank you very, very much. I would now like to introduce our dignitaries, and they're going to take a couple minutes and share some words of wisdom and congratulations to you. And we're going to speak in this order, and when I call your name, just kind of walk around Stephen, and where Andrea is, you line up over there, and your certificate should be right on the table there. And we have certificates from the city of Temecula, and you'll be hearing from Debbie Herrera with Senator Jeff Stone's office, and Samantha Stillwell with Assemblywoman Melissa Melendez, Christy McDougall with Assemblywoman Marie Waldron, Robyn Rhodes with our Board of Supervisor, Chuck Washington, 3rd District, and we will conclude with our Superintendent, Mr. Tim Ritter from Temecula Valley Unified School District. So, all right, Miss Debbie, you are ready to rock and roll. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Debbie Herrera here on behalf of Senator Stone and his staff. Congratulations to all the students and the parents, because we know the parents are behind most of the kids who their good work and their hard work that they do, because without a good parent, you probably wouldn't have a good student. So we are here to present a certificate. That's going to be amongst many items in your goodie bag today. But before I run out of time real quick, on your table, you'll notice the yellow flyer. Senator Stone has an annual contest that he runs for all the high school students in his district, which runs from Corona to Temecula to Arizona border Blythe. So that's a lot of high schools. And he has a competition called There Ought to Be a Law. Unless the high school students are happy with all the laws of California, this probably wouldn't apply to you, but if there is a law that you would like to see, we encourage every student to go online and apply and enter this contest, as what he'll do is when he picks, he'll pick one student. Last year it was financial literacy, and he flew the student and the parent up to Sacramento. The student got to sit in the committee hearings and present their proposed bill. Unfortunately, it died in the committee because Senator Stone is a Republican, and everything dies if you're a Republican in the state of California. But don't let that discourage you. We're hoping that we can get one bill to go through. So we highly encourage the principals and teachers today, if you can get a motivated teacher to motivate a class to get these kids, because every winner we've had so far comes from the desert. And what I would give if somebody from Temecula could win this contest and represent Temecula, I would really love it. So congratulations again.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Samantha. I'm from Assemblywoman Melissa Melendez's office. We also have a fun certificate for you. You're going to be getting a lot of those. I'm sure your parents are going to be proudly displaying them on the mantle, or even, frame them and hang them up on the wall. I just want to congratulate all the students. All the hard work that you've put in so far really shows. We're really early on in the year, so that means that you have stood out to the teachers and to your principals to be chosen as a student of the month this early. So give yourselves a pat on the back. Also, thank your parents for all the hard work that they've done, and all the encouragement that they've constantly given you. So congratulations.
Good morning, I'm Christy with Assemblywoman Waldron's office, certificate number 3 for you. We just want to, again, congratulate all the students. I know that throughout the school year, especially now that you're seniors, this is your moment to take a breath. You're always out late doing extracurricular activities, then you come home and do homework, and you have to get up early. sometimes earlier than your parents. So today, just relax, take a break, eat your breakfast, get all your awards and have a good time, because you got one more year left and then college starts and you'll have fun in college. So relax, enjoy, and congratulations, you guys are hard workers.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Robyn Rhodes, and I'm here on behalf of Supervisor Chuck Washington's office. I want to congratulate all the students and present you with this certificate of recognition for your personal and academic achievements. This morning is actually a special morning for me because not only do I get to hear from students who are doing amazing things within the Temecula Valley, but I also get to congratulate one of the students I know personally, and that is our commissioner for the Youth Advisory Council of Riverside County, and that's Tim Bonduck. And I just want to thank you for all that you have done and your wonderful leadership. Thank you.
Good morning again. My name is Tim Ritter, and I'm honored to serve this community as Superintendent of Temecula Valley Unified School District. And every opportunity I have to be here, there are three messages I like to share. The first one is to our community, and a tremendous word of thanks and appreciation for what you do to make a commitment and support educational excellence. It's a big deal what you do right here today to support these students, to show that you care and that it makes a difference, that they are doing great things on their campuses, that they are exhibiting qualities of leadership, that they are truly ambassadors on our campuses that are making a difference each and every day, and that is important. And you show that by not only being here today, but your generous contributions of time, of money, and support of those students in our schools. And it's very important that I say thank you for that commitment. For the students in the room, I want to start by saying congratulations. But I have a special request beyond just the congratulations, and that is that today you listen closely, please listen closely to what is being said at this podium about you. My sense is, not being you, that when you come up here, the first thing you're probably going to be doing is in your mind rehearsing what you're going to be saying and thinking about that and perseverating about what I'm going to say. But it's important that you recognize you're prepared, you know what you want to say, and you know who you are. So step back from that and please listen to the words that are going to be shared about you from your principal, from your teacher that knows you, and from your family. Because I think that many of you probably believe you're here because you're a scholar, because you have an exemplary GPA, or maybe it's because you're a gifted athlete, a talented artist, a leader on campus. And all of those are a part of who you are, and they definitely deserve that recognition and that celebration. But I think if you just get under the surface of what people are saying about you, it's more than that. Because really, there are other gifted athletes, talented artists, scholars, and leaders on your campus. But you're the one that's here today. And why is that? What is it about you that set you apart? It's about your character. It's about who you are and those intrinsic qualities you bring forward each and every day and make a difference in the lives of the people around you. That's what I hope you hear. That's what I hope you walk away with this morning, is that understanding that you are a difference maker on your campus, or you wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't. Your teachers, your administrators, don't just go down a list of GPAs. Don't just talk about the athletes. They are looking for the individuals on the campus that are making a difference in a significant way. And that's who you are. And it's important that you know that you internalize that, and you continue to foster and support those behaviors, those gifts, those talents that you possess that make you different in a positive way, but also contribute to those around you in such a significant way that you're making a difference. Please listen. And most importantly, congratulations.
I love to hear Mr. Ritter speak. He is awesome. We also have one additional certificate. Our Congressman, Ken Calvert, has a great certificate for you as well. And so on behalf of Ken Calvert and his wonderful representative, Brenda Denstadt, they want to say congratulations, and they wish you the very, very best. So thank you. I want to bring your eyes to this table right over here because we have a gift bag. It is from Temecula Valley Hospital, and it is full of goodies. Honestly, you all are going to have to take a few jogs around your block, maybe multiple, because you're going to get to go to a lot of great restaurants in the area, and you will thoroughly enjoy this gift bag. We have several goodies in there. And you get to go to Corner Bakery, you get to go to Chick-fil-A. There we go. I'm giving you a new name. And with Tara Gravino and Tracy Wright, we appreciate you all so much for that. And you have something special from Malia Ortloff with Eastern Municipal Water District. She dropped off these big old bags of goodies, and you have special treats in there from them, so you're going to enjoy that. You get to go to Jersey Mike's Subs, a Lake Elsinore Storm baseball game when the season starts again. Richie's Real American Diner, which is owned by my parents. You get to come back to Sizzler. You get to go to the Promenade Mall and do a little bit of shopping. And you get to go on a horseback ride with STAT, which is, they save special animals. So Patty Roberts is one incredible lady. You get to go on a ranch tour for the Temecula Olive Oil Company, and they have an amazing ranch. Compliments of Catherine Pepe, so thank you, Miss Catherine. And of course, you'll be getting some special gifts from Which Superior Sandwiches. From Sandy Word in the back, she has a location in Temecula and in Murrieta, and they are good sandwiches. And there she is right there. Stand up, Sandy. So you get to go to McDonald's and In-N-Out Burger, and pretty soon you're going to get something from BJ's. And you have to know how I work. Wherever I am, if I meet anybody, when I say I meet somebody, that means I've never met them before. And I happened to be on the plane last week to Tennessee going to a Certified Angus Beef Conference, and the gentleman on the other side of the aisle, and yes, I spent a whole day on a cattle ranch. I had cute boots too. Anyway. So across the aisle was a gentleman, and I heard him talking, and I heard him say BJ's Restaurant. And after we got off the plane, I went up to him, and I told him who I was and how important it was that BJ's participate in our program. He gave me his card, and I sent him an email. So now we're waiting to see. And if I don't hear back from him today, I will email him again. So I hope to have that. So all these places we have, we just go right into them, we tell them what they need to do. And because they love you, they want to say yes. So we hope to have even more gifts in the future. But we just appreciate all of our gift sponsors because it's fun to go home with a big bag of gifts and go out through the town, and you want to be sure that you do something very special, and that is write some thank you notes, because there's about 60 or 70 notes in here, so you will be sending out handwritten, no texting notes. You know, you have to handwrite these notes with a pen. And somebody said you can't type in, things and then print it off and tape it. No, it's a whole handwritten thing, and it helps for extra points when you're getting your scholarship. And to make sure that you know who to send them to, Brooke has taken care of that for you. She has, this is huge. Notice I'm using the word huge. This is a huge piece of paper. It has everybody on here. So it'll be all of your sponsors. So it'll be a lot of fun to write thank you notes to that many of our sponsors. And we get these notes, and we love to hear from you. And one thing, just to let you know, every now and then we get somebody that likes to write on the very back. So when you open it up, there's nothing inside. You want to make sure you open it up and write on the inside. It's kind of fun because, see, a lot of these young folks today, haven't seen a thank you note. It's really important to have to do a thank you note. And one little tidbit, when you start your job interviews, the most important thing you can do is as soon as you finish that job interview, go out to your car, write a handwritten thank you note, and walk it back in. They will remember you because you might be the only one that does that for a job interview. So that's some good information. So with that, we're going to begin, and we're going to start with Temecula Valley High School, and we're going to conclude with Linfield High School, and we have just a little format, and so this is how we're going to follow it. We have about 5 minutes per student, and we break that down in the following way, with the principal with a minute, and the students with 2.5 minutes, and in your 2.5 minutes, we are going to learn a huge amount about you. And that will be, we want you to introduce your family and guests, introduce your mentor teacher, talk a little bit about where you're going to go to school and your career goals, and share a little bit about your life on campus, your current campus. And then we want you to answer at least one of the following questions, and they are, what do you believe is your greatest contribution to your community, school, or family? Or what do you think is the most significant life lesson that you will take with you to college? Or how do you plan on giving back to our community or paying it forward? Or the final question, share a personal story that demonstrates an obstacle that you have overcome. Then we would like for your teacher to share a few words, and then we'll have one family member share. And that should take up our 5 minutes. Then, when you come forward, the way you're going to line up is we'll have our principal behind the podium here, our mentor teacher right here, our student right here, and the family right here. Now, y'all are going to be like shoulder to shoulder, kind of like in a half circle thing right here, because Stephen behind the camera wants to make sure that everybody is in the camera. So when it's time for different people to speak, be sure to still stay close to one another. So if you have to do a little 2-foot shuffle this way, a little 2-foot shuffle this way, because otherwise Stephen's going to be going like this, move together, because we don't want gaps, no gaps, right? So with that, we are going to begin with Temecula Valley High School and Donna Lione. All right. Make sure you're all set up.
All right, good morning. As we all get up here, hi, I'm Donna Lione, and I'm representing Temecula Valley High School today. Shoulder to shoulder, here we go. And I have the honor of introducing our student of the month, which is right here, our cadet group commander, Tristian Barlow. He epitomizes everything that we're looking for in a golden bear. We want them to thrive and contribute to our community and our world. He has the intentions of graduating from high school and serving in the Marine Corps. I'm so excited to be the one to be here for him because I'm a daughter of a 32-year Navy man and the wife of a 32-year Air Force officer. So for me, this is just wonderful. He represents a sector of our youth that is dedicated to making our community and world a better place. And when you hear or you talk to him or any of the Air Force JROTC students that he leads, it's so beautiful to hear, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. So I'm not going to speak anymore because there's plenty to say about him, but it's just my honor to represent Tristian Barlow.
Thank you, ma'am. Before I begin, I'd like to introduce my guests and as well as my colonel, really. This is my mother and my father. This is Jamal Reynolds, and last but not least, Colonel Good. They want me to share about my college and career goals, but as she just said, I'm not really going to college right away. I'm enlisting in the United States Marine Corps, and hopefully I serve in an Air Naval Gunfire Liaison Company, ANGLICO, under the Field of Artillery. In school, I am, like she said, the current group commander of JROTC, and I'm blessed to have the cadets under me who work and give their hearts to what they do in that unit. I think the most significant lesson I've learned as a student, a cadet, and a child of God is that with whatever you do, you need to put your heart and soul into it. You need to wake up every morning and prove yourself there's nothing you can't do. You need to wake up and say, let's get some. I'm going to get after it, and I'm going to do it good. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Not to take up too much time, but thanks again to all the folks that are here, leaders from the community, parents, family, and friends. It is awesome to see the turnout. This is my first event. I'm new to the area. I've only been here just under 3 months, and so it's awesome. It's awesome to see. So what can I say, since I am a new teacher here at Temecula Valley, and new actually to the state of California, since I've only known Tristian for just less than 3 months? Well, here's what I can say. I've learned a lot about him in this short amount of time. And most of it's good stuff. Tristian is in many respects your typical teenager. And by that I mean he likes to check himself out in the mirror every chance he gets. Better yet, if he can get others to join him in checking him out. Like Jamal here. Even better. But in all seriousness, not that I wasn't serious about that, Tristian is in most other ways your atypical teenager. More to the point, he is driven. He is driven to excel in everything that he does. Being a stellar student, color guard commander, volunteer in the community, and an all-around ambassador for Temecula Valley High School. Better than that, and this I think goes along with what Mr. Ritter was saying earlier, he is driven to support others in their own pursuits of excellence. As our cadet group commander, which is the highest position any cadet can hold in Air Force Junior ROTC, Tristian should never doubt for a second that he was chosen for that position primarily for those reasons I just mentioned. In short, he leads by example, selfishly giving his own time to serve his community, his fellow cadets, and I'd venture to guess, his own family, just about on a daily basis. There is so much more I can say about Tristian, but to be respectful of the time that I've been given here, let me end by addressing him directly for a moment. Tristian, the highest compliment I believe I can pay you, really anybody for that matter, especially a young person, is to say that I would be honored if my kids grew up to be like you. I genuinely mean that. In just this short amount of time that I have come to realize, and Chief Dotson has come to realize, we can unequivocally count on you for just about anything. We're honored to be your teachers, and we have zero doubt that your future is going to be brighter than your present. So God bless you, and God bless your family.
Thank you, Colonel. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel Barlow. I'm Tristian's father. My wife and I are very proud of Tristian's accomplishments and career goals. We appreciate the guidance and encouragement Tristian has received from his teachers throughout his elementary and secondary education years. I would like to single out the JROTC program in particular, which gave Tristian the opportunity to meet students from all grade levels here at TVHS. From the very beginning of freshman year, as the little fish in the big ocean, I asked him, do you need help with mentoring? Do you need help? Oh no, I've got senior friends already. So he had a network that has provided support through his all 4 years. He had great role models in the JROTC Corps to emulate and learn from. His JROTC instructors have been tremendous teachers, mentors, and counselors. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Byrd, Lieutenant Colonel Good, and Chief Dodson. We have tried to show Tristian that we learn from our mistakes, pick up and carry on, and make our way through challenging life situations. It's not where you've been that matters, it's where you're going. I credit Tristian's strong work ethic on his Christian faith and see this also in his efforts to set a good example for his peers. He enjoys teaching and mentoring the younger students who are following in his footsteps in the JROTC program. His desire to enlist in the United States Marine Corps upon graduation has been a personal goal of his for several years. He is following in the footsteps of his grandfather, father, and uncles by joining the military. As a veteran, I give a lot of credit to those who are seeking to serve their country in these times of increasing tension throughout the world. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you about a young man we love very much. Thank you.
Good.
All right, another fine high school is coming up, Chaparral High School, and my friend Nicole Dayus, principal at Chaparral.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here representing Chaparral High School, and it's a greater honor to introduce to you Mr. Paez, our Student of the Month. And we're standing up here with Berlin and his amazing parents that I've had the opportunity to meet on a couple occasions in the last 2 weeks, because it was just a week ago, a little over a week ago, that we were standing in front of our TVUSD board, recognizing Berlin as a semifinalist for a National Merit Scholarship because of his amazing score on his PSAT last year. So I told Berlin, we got to stop meeting like this. Or we can keep on meeting like this, and that would be fine with me. Berlin is incredible, and when we go through the nomination process at Chaparral High School and we have our teachers giving feedback, the level of enthusiasm and excitement that our staff and school leadership had in our conversation about Berlin was profound. And at that moment, I wish Berlin was a fly on the wall, because I think that he would have been very proud and humbled by what his teachers had to say about him. I heard words like he has incredible wit, he has a quiet strength, he's a gentleman and a scholar, his intelligence is incredible and surpasses most, and it was not a difficult decision for us to have Berlin as our selection for today. I try to express to our students at Chaparral High School, in our spirit of pride and respect and passion that we have as students and for one another as fellow Pumas, that we need to be careful not to judge people by the chapter of their life that we walk into. We need to look at their entire story. And that's our job, to know their whole story and to not make judgment on that chapter. In the case of Berlin, I can't imagine a chapter that I would have walked in on his life where I wasn't extremely impressed and myself humbled by the work that he has been able to accomplish as a young man and a young student. And when we talk about transcripts also being a story, there's not a chapter in his transcript that is not profound. But when we look at why he's standing up here, it's not because of the transcript of his story, it's because of all the details and incredible things that fall in between those numbers. And it's his passion, his respect, his support that he has in his community service, in some very difficult things that he's chosen to do in working and inspiring his peers who are struggling, and his athleticism, and just the overall well-roundedness that makes him a pretty magnificent human being. And so I am proud to introduce to you Mr. Berlin Paez.
Hello, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so bear with me for a little bit. Okay, so good morning. My name is Berlin Paez, and I'm here representing Chaparral High School. I want to take this moment to thank my parents, Miriam and Abel Paez, because without their continued support and motivation when I was younger, I wouldn't have developed the habits and traits I needed to excel in school now. The teacher that came along with me is Miss McNulty, my calculus teacher for about 2 years now. She is the most entertaining, unique, and inspiring person I've ever met in my life. All right, and I would also like to thank the sponsors for today for making all this possible and for allowing us students to be recognized. So basically, the most important lesson I think I've learned in my life is the concept of self-betterment. 4 years ago today, I would have probably fainted before giving this speech. Me in social situations did not really go well. I was not the most extroverted kid. I used to frequently overthink situations, which would cause me to panic and freeze up. It got to the point where I was terrified to go up to a cashier, like a restaurant, or like ask a store clerk for help. And my parents realized this and realized that I was always running away from situations and anxiety and stuff. And so they pushed me to face these situations. They would make me ask clerks for help, order food, ask general questions for them. And so slowly but surely, I got better at these type of things. But the problem was always the same. I was being pushed to change. I wasn't allowing myself to change. So I stubbornly refused to work on myself through elementary and middle school until high school hit. And it was at this point that I finally got through my head, through a combination of maturing and probably sheer luck, that I needed to better myself. So at this point, I started off small, so talking to my classmates, talking to people around me, working on conversations and stuff like that. And eventually worked my way up, breaking down my barriers, like joining social groups aimed at cheering others or helping other people. And it was the success of my endeavors through these past 4 years that have shown me that these small steps can add up to a large end result, and have established the concept of self-betterment that I think has really set a tone for the rest of my life. Well, thank you. Yeah.
A little bit about where you want to go to school.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Did you want to do?
I'll do it for
Thank you.
Okay. So, in a nutshell, that's a small piece of Berlin. My name's Ann McNulty, and I teach calculus at Chaparral High School. And I know the minute you heard that, y'all got excited, right? Because you were like, whoa, math! Woo, we love it! And the interesting thing about math is that, you know, when you know a little bit of math, you think it's all about numbers, okay? And that's true. But numbers kind of rule our lives a little bit, don't they? I mean, when you think about it, the day you get paid, that bank account number looks great and you feel good. And the day, you know, you've lost a few pounds and you get on the scale, and that number on the scale really means a lot all of a sudden. And some numbers have the ability to change us with our emotions and things. And Berlin has a lot of numbers. And I'll tell you some of his numbers, because he would never in his life say this, but I'm very proud of him. He's number 2 in a class of 809 students. He has a 4.47 GPA. He's taken 15 AP classes and passed them all. As a junior, he took Calc BC with me and got 2 5s, which I can't even explain. Like, these are just like astronomically ridiculous numbers. He wants to study, this is for you, Sally, he wants to study engineering at Berkeley, where I'm sure he will be well suited. But he would never say this because he's a very humble, self-deprecating sort of person. And as Nicole alluded to earlier, just reading a transcript only means so much. It's the things in between. And we can't let numbers confine us, because when you learn enough math, you realize that the numbers are only placeholders for things. And that real math and real cool stuff occurs when you free yourself from those numbers. And the reason I'm here is because Berlin is the kind of person that has freed himself from those numbers. Does he do all that? Yes. But I would not be here taking this time just to talk about his numbers. He is the most thought-filled person I've ever seen. My goal my first year when I had him was to make him laugh. So I said the most ridiculous things. I mean, I would just sit there just like staring, okay, did I get a smile out of the kid? I got it. And that meant a lot to me. When he showed up into my class the other day, he showed up during 6th period for something, which is not his class period. He had to come in and talk. All the kids, I mean, I was talking, and I can command a room, I tell you. And all the kids he showed up in the doorway, and all the kids went, Berlin! I was like, what is it, a celebrity? Is a movie star here? And he just kind of walked in like, it's me, hello. And they just adore him. Because, as I said, he's thought-filled. He is exceedingly intelligent. There are very few students I've had in my career of 20 years of teaching the highest performing kids at Chaparral High School, and he is in the top 10 in terms of sheer intellectual power. He is kind, he is humble, and he's just the exact kind of person that you want to have in your classroom every day, because it makes you a better teacher and it brightens the entire room around him. So I am very, very proud to be here and to have him choose me to be the teacher to be here. Congratulations, Berlin.
Good morning. We would like to thank everybody involved in making this program happen. It shows students that their hard work and dedication doesn't go unnoticed. Berlin showed us at a very early age his determination and passion to learn. You see, right before he turned 6, we moved here to the United States. So without a word of English in his vocabulary, he started 1st grade. Well, I don't know how or when it happened, but while we were still busy worrying about him, 2 months into school, he came home carrying an award. An award? Most well-behaved kid, I thought. It was none other than the Accelerated Reader of the Month award. His very first, and to us, one of the most valuable. In her speech, Mrs. Gradstein, his teacher, said, "Your skills have multiplied, and you truly are one of the best and most improved readers ever." That's how he started his education journey, and he hasn't stopped impressing us since then. Thank you, mijo, for making us very proud, and thank you all teachers. You help us shape our kids into what we all hope they become, decent and productive members of our society. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to introduce up to the podium Principal of Rancho Christian High School, Mr. Craig Swanson.
All right, we'll move in here, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My privilege to be up here this morning. I am proud to be the principal at Rancho Christian School. This is my second year, and so I'm getting to know people here and getting to know especially the students and teachers at Rancho Christian. And I'm blessed every day I'm there, and especially by the students. And with our first Student of the Month choice, I think that's the most. It's a very valuable one because they always rise to the top, the best. And that has certainly happened in this case with Isabela. She's a wonderful young lady. When I stand out in front of the school in the morning and greet the students as they come in, I see Isabela coming from far away because she may be about 30 seconds late coming to school, so she's running, but she always slows down when she gets near me, and she's concerned about how I am that morning. And then she runs again to get to class on time. But she's wonderful, and she is our spiritual mentor, one of them in our ASB group, and takes leadership in that organization very seriously. She is, as I observe around campus, she is always reaching out to the new students and will sit with them at break or at lunch just to make sure they're okay and fitting in. And that's her heart. She has a heart for others and is just incredible on a daily basis. And I know she does that with her teachers, with her friends, and with everyone she meets. So she is a blessing to us at our school, and we're glad to be there for her also. So I introduce to you Isabela Blanco.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I would like to start off by thanking the distinguished members of our society for making the time to attend today. And thank you to Ms. Sally Myers for your vision and the great heart that you have for our younger generation. Also, thank you to the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce and our sponsors for all the time and effort you have invested in this program. I want to thank the wonderful teachers and mentors that God has placed in my path while being a student at Rancho. Mr. Swanson, Mr. Ray, Mrs. Gorham, and Senior Hankins have all come alongside me and helped me grow spiritually and mentally. Lastly, a big thank you to my parents, Ricardo and Anna Blanco, who have shown me unconditional and selfless love every single day. They are the ones who are constantly encouraging me to pursue my dreams and assuring me that I can do whatever I set my mind to. While at Rancho, the greatest lesson I have learned is that life is a journey. And it isn't always about getting that A on every single assignment, which I thoroughly enjoy. Rather, the process of growing and becoming a better person through the struggle, which is more important. One must take a look at what is passing by and stop to enjoy it. I had often found myself becoming too focused on the end goal of getting into college that I lost track of what is actually important. It wasn't until one of the mentors in my life told me that getting a B on an assignment was okay, as long as I grew from that experience. As I am nearing graduation, I do not know where God plans on taking me, but I know that He has set my life aside for a life of service. The past 2 years of high school, I have found a great joy in helping others, and I hope to shed God's love and grace wherever He leads me. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Thank you.
Okay, you're making me cry. Whenever I see Isabela in the morning, I always start out with, Isabela, 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 like Cinderella. She kind of reminds me a little bit of Cinderella, but no, I've really grown to enjoy her as a student in my class, but also just as a human being. I've had the privilege of having her as my student in chemistry, and this year she's in my physics class as well. And she also serves as my intern.
And she is one of those students who is actively engaged on our campus. She comes to school every day and she's there to serve everyone around her. And she not only maintains such a stellar academic record, but she's also coordinating our chapel program, our student-led chapel program. She also serves as my intern, and that's no easy task. It actually means that she has to help me prep labs, and she grades papers for me as well. And tomorrow when I'm out of town, I have to go to Mississippi tomorrow. She's actually going to be stepping in and teaching one of my classes while I'm gone. She's that good, and she's an amazing young lady. But with all that said, all the academics and all the busyness of her life, the thing that I've really grown to appreciate about Isabela is her caring and compassionate heart. She always has that ability to recognize in others where they're at, what they need, what they're thinking. She feels for them, she empathizes. She'll come and ask you, how are you doing? You know, how's your day? She even brings me Starbucks in the morning on occasion, just to brighten my day. And she's that kind of person. She has that servant's heart, yes, because she's in tune to who people are and who they are and what they need around her. And it is a privilege to have students like that in class, to see them growing, to see her maturing, to see her embracing the journey. And so I totally not just admire her, but I love her, and I will be sad when she leaves our campus in the spring. But I know that God has many special things in store for her in the future. Congratulations, Isabela.
Good morning, Ms. Myers and distinguished members of our community and fellow family members, and particularly Mr. Swanson and Mr. Ray. We very much appreciate the recognition that you have given not only to our daughter, we think she's very fine, obviously, but also to all of the other students that have been recognized here. It's very important, obviously, to recognize, but more important is the work that you're doing behind the scenes to lift up our next generation. And there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes to do that, and particularly on the part of the educators. A lot of things that the educators here in this crowd, and also the ones that aren't here, have done to make sure that our next generation is being brought up correctly are unseen and often unappreciated. So we want to let you know that we do very much appreciate that. Our daughter is obviously the apple of our eyes. She's very special to us, and it's been very important to see how she's progressed the last several years in developing that servant's heart, and also the concept of stretching beyond your comfort zone. She's made us very proud of how she's developed that heart to serve, and to serve in a manner that's not seen. She doesn't draw attention to herself. She likes to do things behind the scenes, and we're very much encouraged by that. And we're very much looking forward to seeing what the Lord has in store for her as she goes forward in life, and where He's going to place her to better society. And we love you very much.
All right, well, I would like to introduce from Temecula Preparatory School, Mr. Tim Bagby.
Good morning, everybody. This is my second year here, along with Mr. Swanson. This is such a wonderful opportunity to be able to see students awarded in this way. And I want to thank Sally and the Chamber and the community. It's wonderful to be here. I don't know if you're going to remember this or not, but it was about a little over a year ago where I started working with the upper school at Temecula Prep, which is the 7th through 12th grade students. I was currently serving as the kindergarten through 6th grade dean, and they decided that I should do both. And I was walking down the hallway of the upper school one day, and I see a young man playing what looked like to be a ukulele. And I was wondering, okay, should I be concerned about that? No, I'm a musician. I like ukuleles. But I was wondering, what's going on here, right? And so I went up to Saul and I said, what's going on with the ukulele, man? Play me a song? And he was saying, well, I'm learning some chords and I'm learning how to play this thing. I said, what are you going to do with this? And he says, well, it's for a part in a play. And so, great. So I wanted to make sure I go to the play and that sort of thing, because I didn't know Saul at the time. And when I got to see the play, it was like he commanded the stage. That's one of the many gifts that Saul has, is that he is an amazing singer and actor. I would not be surprised someday to see him on TV or on a Broadway stage someday. Not only that, he's also an amazing student. He's carrying a 4.2 GPA at our school, which is no easy feat. And beyond all those things, I've gotten to know him a bit, to a point where when you talk with him, you understand and know that he's caring, he's compassionate, and there's a sense that I've gotten from him over the time that I've gotten to know him, that he's been forming in himself, and he's been having to overcome some things within himself to become the young man he is. He's got such an amazing future. I'm so proud of him, and so proud of the things that he's been doing on our campus, because when you talk to Saul, you leave feeling better. And he's always able to make you feel better. He's concerned about you. He has a compassionate, loving heart, and he's has a great future ahead of him. So I'm very pleased to introduce to you Mr. Saul Esqueda.
I just want to start off by saying that I wrote some things just so I could make sure I eloquently get my thoughts out. First off, this is my Spanish teacher. She's been very helpful and very amazing in my pursuit of education, so I just want to thank her. And Mr. Bagby as well for really leading the students in a very helpful and beneficial and productive manner. And these are my parents, Saul and Edelmira. They're very supportive and I love them so much. So I come from a Latino family of hard workers that span beyond the city of Temecula. After the perseverance of my parents, I was able to grow up from the benefits of their hard-earned fruits of life. However, I was always afforded the opportunity of recognizing and appreciating the hard work of my parents to provide for my sister and I. Although I have been able to live an optimistic and beneficial life here in Temecula, I have also dealt with a fair share of personal issues. Growing up, I found it extremely difficult to find out what I like to do most. All of my peers had teams, clubs, sports, and many other groups that they were partaking in while I was still confused on my general interests. And so I often felt socially awkward and isolated with no friend to go to or understand my struggle. I also experienced a difficult period of bullying at an earlier time in my life from these same peers. However, after discovering the performing arts, such as theater and music, I immediately felt empowered to pursue and really push myself to become a better version of myself. And the most beneficial lesson that I could take away from my personal experience so far is that everything really happens for a reason. In a world where each and every one of us desires to take charge of our own destiny and define ourselves through the likes of technology and society, it's important to realize that we can't control everything. In order to live my best life, I have had to realize that I can only do my part by doing the best that I can in the areas of my life that I can control, and allow the powers of the world to really take care of the rest. Every failure and low point in my life has led me to the individual standing before you today. I have worked hard to get here, and I only strive to work harder and achieve greater things in life. And after high school, I plan to attend a 4-year university to attain a BFA in performing arts, such as theater. And if I were to not go into theater, I would also like to pursue a business administration in marketing and integrated communication studies. So yeah, that's just a little bit about myself. Thank you so much to all the donors and supporters, and also the other students honored today. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm Tamara Dussault, his Spanish teacher. And every once in a while, a teacher gets a student who causes or influences you a little bit more than you probably influence him or her. And for me, Saul is one of those students. And he probably also speaks much more eloquently than I do, as he just showed. So always comes to class prepared. And if he's not prepared, he makes no excuse about it. He takes responsibility for it, even if he was up till midnight the night before rehearsing for a theatrical production. This impresses me. His attitude in class causes me to want to be a better teacher, to work harder, to make my lessons more relevant and interesting. The students who sit around him, they know his busy schedule, and they see how hard he works. And pretty soon, they're working a little harder. The quality of their work is going up, and their excuses stop. And this is due to his influence and his kindness. Saul is one of the most respectful students that I know, both to teachers and his own peers. And I've seen a few little negative incidences that have happened in class, and Saul responds with graciousness to those instances. And he's no pushover. He will speak his mind, but he can do so in a very winsome and non-judgmental way. So one day when I caught myself about ready to respond to a squirrely student in a not so gracious way, Saul came to mind, and I'm not making this up, it's true. Saul came to mind, and I caught myself thinking, if Saul can handle these small adversities that happen in classrooms, then I need to raise my own bar here. And I think Mrs. McNulty mentioned too how students, they have an effect on us teachers, making us want to be better and to try harder. And Saul is like that for me. He's an excellent academic student, as Mr. Bagby mentioned. He has an over 4.0 GPA, but his passion and his talent is theater. When I started at Temecula Preparatory School a year ago, I've been to almost every production he's been in except for one, and I was impressed. There was Saul, and it took me a moment, yeah, that's Saul. And he was on a rope, hanging by his feet, upside down, swinging back and forth across the stage, singing in perfect pitch with this beautiful stage voice that he has. And I was going, wow, it almost intimidated me. He's in my class. And it was just really impressive. I think he mentioned, he started in the theater when he was in 6th grade, and his parents have supported him as he pursued this passion that he has. And he's just been blossoming too under the tutelage of our director and teacher, Mr. Ariola, who would be here, except for he has a new little star in his own life and is home on family leave. But it's just exciting to see where he's going. Unless you think that I'm exaggerating on this, there is a very credible source that backs me up, and I have to read this one so I get all of the statistics right here. The year before his junior year, 2016, in the summer, he, along with about almost 2,000 other students across the state of California, applied for the California State Summer School for the Arts. Out of those applicants, 500 were selected to participate in this rigorous 4-week training session. He was acting in the theater. And then at the end of this 4 weeks, out of those 500 students, one student was selected in each area of the arts, whether it be film, music, or acting in theater. Saul was selected as the top student and received a $40,000 scholarship towards the university of his choice. Just kind of confirming that here we see a young person who is working hard, developing his talents, and has been recognized for those things. And we at Temecula Preparatory School are so proud of you. When his name was nominated, I started seeing feedback from other teachers saying this is a no-brainer. He is one of our top examples of what we try to do at Temecula Preparatory School, where we emphasize 4 virtues. And one of them is fortitude, and he shows this strength in the hard work he puts in academics, and he shows his prudence in the wise choices he makes in developing his natural talents and skills. and his justice and temperance and how he deals with the people and any adversities that come along. And it's just a pleasure to teach him and to be around him.
Thank you. Well, my name's Sasuke. I'm his father, a very proud father. And first and foremost, I want to thank everybody that's responsible for this to occur, okay? We are truly, or you folks are truly shaping the leaders of our future, okay? This is big. This is big. I would love to say that, hey, my son is a product of me or us, but honestly, he is not. Along the way, there's been teachers that have believed in them, like yourself, Mr. Ariola, the leadership at the school, and have encouraged them and inspire him to be greater, right? And again, what you guys do day in and day out does not go, want to make sure that it's recognized, right? Make sure that you understand the role you play in everybody's future. So thank you. And Saul, you son have exceeded any dream of what a child would be for me when I was younger. And I'm extremely proud of you, okay? And I don't know what to say without, maybe my voice cracking. So love you, son.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to call up the fine leader of Great Oak High School, Amy Ricken.
Well, good morning. My name is Amy Ricken. I'm the very blessed principal of Great Oak High School. I want to thank Sally Myers, who every time we come to the Student of the Month breakfast puts on an even more amazing and thought-provoking and emotionally touching program. And I think it continues to inspire. I know I'm looking at Nicole and Donna right now, who are my very close colleagues in Temecula. I think it's the thing that recharges us. And when we come here, we get the opportunity to celebrate all of these amazing students, and I needed a little bit of that this morning, so that's fantastic. So thank you to all of our program sponsors. This is Mr. Timothy Bonbach, who is our Great Oak Student of the Month, and Mrs. Michelle Claybaugh, who's stepping in, but jumped right in for another teacher who couldn't make it to speak on behalf of Tim this morning. Tim is just the real deal. He's the genuine article. He is the most amazing leader, I think, student leader ambassador of Great Oak High School. We really couldn't craft a description for a student more complimentary or filling than the one that we would offer up on behalf of Tim. At Great Oak, we measure all of our students across every curricular area in the SPIRIT acronym, and we talk about scholarship. We're talking about a young man who has a 4.7 GPA, who's earned a 5 on every AP test he's taken. I had a conversation with my 3 sons this morning. They saw me putting lipstick on or something and said, Mom, what are you doing? I'm like, Student of the Month this morning, rushing, getting out of the house. And I said, hey, who's gotten an A+ lately in this house? No hands went up. Not a surprise in the Ricken house, but in just last night, kind of refamiliarizing myself with, Tim's just excellence in academics, I noticed on his transcript, it's like A+, A+, A+. And I'm like, it is so incredibly hard to get an A+ on an assignment, a quiz, a test, an essay. This kid's got him on his transcript, like all the way down. And so, it was a thought-provoking conversation quickly for a mom with her sons. I heard an adult this morning talk about if you could, raise your own son in, a student's, likeness, that would absolutely be, for me and my 3 Ricken boys, I would love them to grow up with the character traits of Mr. Timothy, affectionately known as Tim Bondock. And we're so incredibly proud and grateful of this young man. And I can't wait for him to share a little bit about himself with you this morning.
Thank you. Well, I think Mrs. Ricken covered a lot about me. I guess that's all I had to say. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So before I start, very special thank you to Miss Sally Myers, I'm sorry. Sally Myers for hosting us today, this morning, and special thank you to Mrs. Robyn Rhodes for calling me out on the Youth Advisory Council. My time at Great Oak High School, I've been at Great Oak High School, this is my 4th year now. Before then, I spent 9 years at St. Jean de l'Estanoc School. It's a Catholic K-8 school. And the Catholic faith is, I'm personally Catholic. It's played a huge role in how I conduct myself and how I represent myself at Great Oak High School. But more importantly, teachers and faculty at Great Oak High School are perhaps the number one reason why our students, including myself, are rising up like we are today. Our fine example today is Ms. Claybaugh. She was my calculus teacher for her sophomore year. She teaches a calculus AB and recently international baccalaureate standard level math studies and mathematics. I'm an IB diploma transfer student myself. I originally districted in Temecula Valley. Sorry, had to. No, I'm just kidding. And the environment at Great Oak High School is just nothing but fun-filled. I attribute all my successes to the environment we have at Great Oak High School, plus the foundation that my parents gave me as a child. It's fun-filled, but we're able to get stuff done. Is the short way of putting it. It's such a large school. We have so many students on campus that nothing really happens until an administrator comes into your classroom. So when our assistant principal, Mrs. Janine Enlund, is not here today, but she came into our class, I was really scared. I was like, uh-oh, did I do something wrong? But I'm really honored to be chosen as one of our Student of the Month this year. In Great Oak High School, I'm involved with our National Honor Society, serving as our vice president with California Scholarship Federation and Peer Leaders Uniting Students. That's a list of activities but as I'll go over shortly, it's not really the activities that make the impact. Outside of school, I'm involved with the Youth Advisory Council as Ms. Robyn said. This summer of 2017, I traveled for 5 out of our 10 weeks vacation outside of the country in Latin America. 1 week in Honduras, 4 in Costa Rica as part of Amigos de las Americas. And it sounds like a whole bunch of fun, right? There's all these activities that I do, but that's not the point of doing it. Over the years, as part of the Catholic faith too, I realized that all these activities play into a larger role, and the largest lesson that I've learned at Great Oak is that our talents are for to share. It's because I couldn't deal with myself. What motivates me to do what they say I do, I guess, is because I couldn't live with myself if I were wasting the talents where other people would have to work hard, or if other people were wasting their talents where other people would have to, stretch themselves. Because our talents are to share and make each other better. And I couldn't personally live with myself if I was denying someone that opportunity to learn, or denying myself the opportunity to learn from somebody else. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. Oh, I forgot about that. Sorry.
That's the note card.
That's the note card. Yeah. So I plan to attend a 4-year university this fall. I'll be applying early action to Stanford University. I'm coming back down to earth. I'll come down. I'll be applying to the University of California in Los Angeles and San Diego. Those are my 2 favorites, as well as several schools across the country on the East Coast, mainly. Yes. I plan to continue my career in medicine. I found the most fulfilling way to share my talents with the world, and that's just what I wanted to do since I was yay high. But I plan to major in something around biochemistry or bioengineering in Stanford University, or human biology is the general route I want to go. But that's all I have to say about myself.
Okay, well, I had, as Timothy said, Tim in your sophomore year. Quite amazing. I'm stepping in for Lisa Balka, who was Timothy's English teacher. Now, if a math person had wrote this, it would not be this long. But an English teacher wrote this, so let's see if I can get through the verbiage. It is all true, by the way. So, there's no bullets. I apologize. So, the student I have nominated for this prestigious award is most definitely a brilliant mind who elicits passion and vibrancy in everything he pursues. Timothy Bondock, a leader in various organizations ranging from National Honor Society to California Scholarship Federation to the County of Riverside Youth Advisory Council, exemplifies dedication to bettering his community through his leadership and activism. A top-performing academic within his class, Tim values his educational opportunities and his commitment to the rigors of the International Baccalaureate program as a top-class contributor and team player. But Tim has a very special gift far beyond the constructs of academia, the gift of voice and compassion, and he uses this gift in one of his life roles, that of a mentor. Trained in speech and debate, Tim's earlier instruction prepared him for working with middle schoolers as a speech and debate coach, where he devotes his time to preteens, guiding them in their understanding of the power of voice. In his love of speech and passion for helping others, Tim also dedicates himself to Great Oaks freshman class as a peer leader. Planning weekly lessons focusing on academic success, social issues, kindness, and school involvement, Tim invests his time in ensuring the success of our wolf pups. School's wolf pups, that's what we call ourselves. I know it's not a puma, but it is a wolf pup. Through his strong voice of encouragement and wisdom, along with his voice of vulnerability and big brother compassion. Students adore Tim as they see his humble nature, his authentic character, and his ability to relate. This summer, Tim spent his time volunteering in Costa Rica, once again working and guiding our youth. Tim uses his voice in dedicating himself to making change in our world through inspiring others. Whether in the classroom, working with his peers, motivating students to seek deeper literary analysis, or teaching freshmen about the power of words, good and bad, or inspiring youth in a small village in Costa Rica, Tim's gift of voice resounds with the songs of love and compassion and hope. His words will forever be implanted within the souls of those he has touched, where he has begun the cycle of transforming our world one person at a time. And I know for a fact his words will forever resonate within my soul. Thank you, Tim. Lisa Balka.
First of all, my son did not tell me that I have to speak today. So I'm already prepping you. I want to thank everybody involved in this great program. As a parent, it's always, I think that he's the best kid ever. But to be confirmed by this honor is very uplifting and very rewarding. My husband and I immigrated to this great country with great hopes to build a family, to provide a great future for our kids. You could just imagine our disappointment when we were childless for the first 6 years of our marriage. We prayed hard, being very religious people. We prayed really hard, and we asked everybody we know to pray for us to have a child. Every time I see a priest, I always go, "Can you pray for us, Father?" But God more than made up for the 6 years of heartaches and disappointments when He sent Tim to us. We've been so blessed. Mind you, it didn't come without great challenges. From the day he was born, he kept me on my toes. I started having to read kindergarten books, newspaper articles, magazines, because he has endless questions from the day he can speak, to the point that I would, one time, and this is true, one time I got a phone call from my husband. He called me, he goes, "Can you come home early?" I said, "Why?" Tim is on his question spurt, and I had to pretend like I'm sleeping so he will stop asking me questions. And this was when he was about 4 years old. And he has a lot of questions. You never failed to impress me and really surprise me. And I feel so blessed to be your mother. And all I ever ask of him, everybody thinks that I'm, being Asian, a tiger mom. But in reality, he would talk to people and say, I never really push him, although he gets in trouble if he comes home with an A instead of an A+. But all I ever ask of you is to be the best person you could ever be. And you have more than surpassed my expectations. I feel so blessed to be your mother, and I thank God for you every moment of my life.
And last but certainly not least, I would like to bring up Linfield Christian's principal, the amazing Holly Wilson.
What a fun morning. I love going last. Tristian, where are you? Tristian, can you text me every morning and give me that call just to do it? It was great. I will give you my number. That was awesome. And Mr. Ray, every time you have a student here, I've known you for 19 years. You were my children's teacher. You are still saying it's not about the grade. So thank you. Thank you for being steadfast and diligent to remind our students, our amazing A+ students, that it is more than a grade. Chamber of Commerce, thank you. Without you, we do not have this event. Sally, always such a blessing to be here. It is my pleasure to introduce Isabel Cristasimo. And Isabel is a remarkable student, gifted mind, talented young lady. But the thing that I appreciate most about her is that her cup isn't half full. Her cup overflows. She overflows with joy. This is the constant face that you see no matter what. She overflows with kindness and compassion and care. And so, Isabel, it is so wonderful that we get to recognize you. I hope you heard what Mr. Ritter said. That is why you were chosen, because you make Linfield a better place. So here is Linfield Student of the Month.
Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Isabela Crisastimo, and thank you very much for this nomination. I want to thank the Temecula Chamber of Commerce, the sponsors, and everyone involved. Without you, this event would not have been possible. Today, I am joined with my parents and my engineering teacher, Mr. Elwer. And at Linfield, I'm involved in Honor Society, Student Ambassador, and I tutor with kids in math and science during the week. For college plans, I plan to pursue biomedical engineering because I love healthcare and I love math and I love creativity, so why not combine everything? These next few weeks, I am preparing to apply to Johns Hopkins University, Stanford, and UCSD. A significant life lesson I learned in Mr. Elwer's class 2 years ago in a group project for the final project. It was the final project, and I aimed to gain control of the whole thing. I set really high standards for myself and for my partner, and we were supposed to be tremendously hardworking. We were going to get an A+, but at the end, it was not a pleasant ending. The next year, I was once again in a group project with all freshmen, and once again, I wanted to gain control of everybody. But good thing I didn't, because I was hit with compassion when the freshmen were actually happy and they actually respected me. And I realized I need to love and care for the people in my group. No matter their age, no matter their level of diligence, I still have to love and care for these people. I've also improved my communication skills with tutoring other people. Not only do I get the gratification of seeing a student's confusion cleared, but I also get to form relationships with them. I'm exposed to the different types of thinkers and the different types of learners, and I get to see their amazing capabilities. Seeing others in this new perspective has impacted me to see myself in a new way. If there is one thing I will hold on to in my life, it will be that my identity is not in what people think of me. It is the unconditional love and grace and mercy from Jesus Christ, and Him only. I aim to glorify Him and to reflect His love wherever I go in college and throughout the rest of my life. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Adam Elwer, and I run our engineering program at school. Was really excited to nominate Isabel. I've over teaching for a while, and there's a lot of different types of smart kids. There's the smart kids that are smart and lazy, right? We've all seen those. There's the smart kids who are smart and arrogant, and there's the smart kids who are smart and socially awkward, and then there's this, right? I was.
Math people unite.
Hey, math people unite. So yeah, woo! I have math socks on. So yeah. Anyways, but Isabel is one of those who is smart and has a heart for people around her. I read her speech ahead of time. I was like, really? You went through that while you were doing that project? I mean, you have kindness and grace and all those things that we're looking for from students. I make people cry every year in that project that she's talking about, that she was controlling. There's always at least one, sometimes two. Usually it can be either frustration or like tears of happiness when they get it done, right? They're like, oh, it works. And so I just wanted to say that she didn't take, she's in her third year of engineering classes at our school. She didn't take it last year. And when she came into class this year, everyone was like, Isabel, you're back! She is like our class mom. She is the only female for 2 years? 2 years. She was the only female in the engineering classes that she was taking for 2 years. So she has put up with a lot of male testosterone and handled it gracefully and encouraged the people around her to be better and to cooperate, because we get competitive sometimes, to encourage them to cooperate and work well together. And so I just love having her as a student, and I'm excited for her career in biomedical engineering.
Good morning, everybody. My wife and I, let me get my glasses. My wife and I are proud of Isabel for receiving the Student of the Month. Actually, 3 years ago, when he went to the freshman level, I saw this Student of the Month. I said, she's not going to be like that because she's quiet. But the staff of Linfield motivated her. Let me tell you something about her daughter.
My daughter.
Isabela has the competence to resolve issues in her studies. In addition to her hard work at school, she manages her time to do activities such as participating in our church worship team. And I cannot wait to see the great things that she will do in college and the rest of her life. Thank you so much to those who sponsored this event. And one last thing. My knowledge, my wife's knowledge, and her knowledge came from Almighty God. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Sally Myers, come on up. Oh, wow. This was an incredible morning. And we have a lot of accountants in the room. I want y'all to raise your hands high. Was this a fun morning to talk about numbers? Yes, I know. It is really, really fun. I loved it. And my husband is a numbers person. And I love numbers people, especially when they have a heart. And he's got numbers and heart. And that really is a great combination, especially when you're running a restaurant, because it's not always just about the numbers, but it's about that experience factor that comes along with it. And I'm listening to all of you, and we're talking about numbers and talking about all the things that you do. And I wrote this big heart under each one of you. I did the little heart sign because you all just have it all put together. And so I love that. I take copious notes of everything you say. I needed a bigger piece of paper today. And there's just a couple little things that I want to share about each one of you. So Tristian, if you want to stand for a minute, please. I'm so excited that you're in the JROTC and that you want to join the Marines.
I was born on the Marine Corps birthday and the Marine Corps Hospital in Coronado, so yes. And it's so exciting when we go to a function and they ask, you know, everyone in the military to stand up, and when my dad stands up, you know, as a proud Marine, I just get tears of joy for that. So thank you for wanting to protect our country and protect our freedoms. We really value that with you. I love your heart, and I love your soul, and how that you put your heart and soul into everything that you do, and you can tell the passion that you have when you spoke. And I love that you're driven to excel, and you love to lead by example. And yes, let's get it done, Holly. I love it. Yeah, all right. So you are going to be a fabulous leader and mentor to others around you. Congratulations. Berlin, I want you to stand, please. Yes, you are another gentleman, very successful, and one of the first things said about you was self-betterment. And you know, I like that when you spoke and you talked about you being shy and maybe having a few challenges, just getting that confidence and all, and how your mom and dad, bless you so much, that the way that they encouraged you, and you followed along that, and you had, no one likes this word, it's not a sexy word, but the word obedience, but you know, you respected and you were obedient to your parents, right? And you wanted to be able to improve, and like you mentioned, just working so hard and becoming encouraged, you know, by your parents, and seeing that, and the fact that you did it in a humble way, and you wanted to lift those barriers as like it was sort of like a bondage time for you, but yet here you were able to take those small baby steps, and then you blossom into being able to come here and to be able to share very confidently. We would never know that about you, you know, if you hadn't shared that. And you've got a great smile, and I love that about you. And so I love the fact that what was said about you is that you're thought-filled. And so that was really special. So congratulations to you. Isabela. There you are, Isabela. I know, got that from your Michael Ray. Michael, our kids grew up together, so I can have fun saying that. And Isabela, the fact that what I heard first about you is that you're a spiritual mentor on your campus, and that you're involved in chapel, and how you're caring and compassionate, and you've got a lot of things going on, and you're racing to this and you're racing to that, and you know, sometimes we have to laugh at ourselves a little bit, because I always tell myself, no, Sally, give yourself plenty of time, but I'm always racing, because there's always things on our plate, things that we want to do, people we want to be with, people we want to encourage and mentor, and I see a lot of that in you, and how you talk about life is a journey. That really meant something to me, because when my husband and I were at the Certified Angus Beef Conference, we met this wonderful, you're laughing when I say Certified Angus Beef. What? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, Certified Angus Beef is the brand of steaks that we serve here, and they're big into numbers because they have 10 scientific standards that those cattle have to meet in order for it to be put on your plate. So there you go. So, Isabela, back to you in the journey. So, this gentleman said that his 80-some-odd-year-old grandfather, and this man was probably in his 50s sharing, and he said when he was a young kid at about, 20 or something like that, his grandfather says, we're going to go out, son, and we're going to go to the special place to see the sunset. And the man said, I really don't think, Grandpa, at 85 that we should be doing that right now. And he says, no, we're going to go out in the rowboat. And they rowed, and the son rowed, not the grandpa. The son rowed and rowed and rowed and rowed. And he says, I think this is a good spot to see the sunset. And the grandpa says, no, we need to go around the cove. He said, row some more. Row, row, row. They get to the sunset. They see this beautiful sunset. And the son is actually trying to get his breath back and everything. And the grandpa says, okay, time to go back.
he didn't want to go back yet because he knew how far he had already rowed and he was going to have to row all the way back. And finally, the grandfather says, you know, son, it's not about just the rowing, but it's about enjoying the journey of the row. So life may be a hard work where you're rowing, but you need to enjoy every aspect of the rowing along the way. And I thought of that when you said that life is a journey and how you want to enjoy every aspect of what you're going through. And that's big. So congratulations to you. Mr. Soul, you know, I really appreciate that you have an interest in voice and in theater. My kids were involved in that. And I want to ask you right now, would you be interested in singing the national anthem at our Student of the Year event in May? Okay, you all heard it here. There we go. All right, that is done. I'm so happy to, and I'm so excited. So thank you very much for that. I really admire you. You're positive, you're compassionate, and I love the fact that you are also very appreciative of your parents. And even though maybe there were a few little challenges here and there, you said that you went through for that short period of time, but yet, as with many of our students, we learn to overcome, and sometimes through those weaknesses, we become strong, right? And so there you have done that. And what is really neat is that you talk about being the best that you can be. And John Maxwell has a book called Failing Forward, and he says, you know, so many times, you know, we may have a difficult time when we struggle in something, but when we fail, we need to fail forward. We need to take that and learn from it. And you are a great example of that. So I just want to say thank you so much. And I also love the word grace was being used about you. So thank you very much. Congratulations. Timothy. Love that shirt and tie. Timothy, you are a great orator, and I can tell you love to share, and you're very passionate about that. I love that you talk about your faith and some of the words you used about you, the real deal and genuine. You don't always hear that today about a lot of people, and that how your faith guides you. I enjoyed when your mom was talking about your questions, and the word I thought of was inquisitive. And I love that. And I kind of get that way too sometimes. And my husband will always say, why are you asking all these questions? Well, I still want to know. I have an inquiring mind. And I think it's important. And it's really a lot of fun because we learn a lot when we ask questions. And I was very impressed with that. And I love that in your lesson you said that talents are to be shared. And that is so important, to be able to share your gifts and talents with others and come alongside those around you to also get them, to encourage them to share their gifts and talents. So thank you very much. Congratulations to you. And Isabel, thank you for your sharing. I love the fact that they said your cup overflows. And I just see that in your smile. I see that in your parents. I just can just imagine your family is just a very sweet family, and how you are joyful and kind, and then those obviously flow out to the others around you, and you like to make people's lives better. So that is very, very special. And I can see you being a very compassionate doctor, because there's a lot of great compassionate doctors, and every now and then there's some that are just kind of like this, and we like that one. So there we go. And then just about your lesson of just wanting to care for people, and I got tickled over the fact that you like to be in control. And it's totally okay, because a lot of us women like to be in control, but we've also learned that sometimes when we're willing to give up a little bit of that, and to be able to let others be able to contribute, we find that the project ends up being much better. And that's a young age you learn that at, so yay, way to go. So congratulations to you. At the very end, I share a word from John Maxwell. He's an author, a pastor, a motivational speaker, and the word for this month is fulfillment, and I think it is just right up your alley. So let's listen to it.
Pamela from Lagos, Nigeria, asked that I would talk for a moment about fulfillment. Welcome to Minute with Maxwell. Fulfillment is a word that I think all of us crave and long for, but we don't always understand how to get it or how to obtain it. As I have watched and observed people that had what I call fulfilled life, their life wasn't fulfilled because they had a lot of money or because things always went their way, but their life was fulfilled because they were living a life of purpose. They were doing the things that they felt that they were created to do, and they were doing it with their very best effort. For me, a fulfilled life means that I've done my very best, that I have to, at the end of the day or at the end of a season of my life, answer to myself, not only to my Creator, but to myself and then the people that I lead. Have I done my best effort? So when I see people that are fulfilled, they are people that maybe don't have more than others, but inside they have fulfillment, because they've realized that they have lived their life not only with purpose, but with effort. They have done their best to be their best, and that brings fulfillment.
I think that you all are living very fulfilled lives, and I am blessed to know each one of you. I appreciate your sharing your stories today. I know that all of you have made our day. So thank you very much. May God richly bless you. We are going to go out front. We're going to take a picture of all of our students. We're going to do a couple groups together. We're going to get all the sponsors that are here. We'll do one real quickly with our sponsors, and then we'll do one with our dignitaries as well, and then one with our family members. So we'll go out front, and Laura Boss will take those pictures for us. So thank you very much.